This time in Goss's Garage, we're going to talk about something that, well, it's scary. And it's something that we see all the time, and it's when we bring out our rubber gloves like this to work on your car. Now, what am I talking about? Well, here we have a new cabin air filter. It goes into the car. It filters all of the air that comes into the car to keep pollen and dust and dirt and everything out of the inside of the car. Well, that's what they look like when they're new. Now, here's one we took out of a car with a little bit of mileage on it. And if we look at that, and of course it would be helpful if we had Smellovision here, because this thing stinks to the high heavens. And the reason it stinks to the high heavens, and the reason I'm wearing the rubber glove, is because of this mess over here. Now, this car came in for a specific reason. Its air conditioning didn't function properly. Wasn't getting enough cool air out of the dash vents. Now, this car had been to other shops, and they had recharged the air conditioning. They had put a new compressor on it and all kinds of different things. I don't know, $3,000 spent on it. Yet the air conditioning didn't work. Now, I would have thought that the techs that were working on it would have noticed when they got into the car that this car stunk to the high heavens. But apparently nobody paid any attention to that. I don't know if they just figured that the driver had dirty feet or what the heck the deal was, but they didn't pay any attention. Now, when the car came to my shop, we checked. We did the basic stuff. We checked to make sure that the AC readings and everything were correct and so on. And then we went to find out the source of the stink inside the car. And having seen stuff like this before, one of the first places that we looked was in the cabin air filter area of the vehicle. And this is what we found. Now, some kind of critter had been in there. They had been nesting in there. As we can see, we took their nest out. We did not, however, search the car to find out where they got all of this material, which I presume was from the padding underneath the carpeting or sound deadening under the hood or something, who knows. But anyway, this was piled on top of the cabin air filter. Why didn't the air conditioning work? Because it couldn't get any air through all of this mess. So all of that money, the thousands of dollars that had been spent on that car, well, it was wasted because it didn't need anything. What it needed was for somebody to clean out this mess and put a new cabin air filter in it. So the moral to all of this is, if you have a lack of heat or a lack of air conditioning and you notice that the amount of air coming out of the ducts isn't as great as it should be, well, one of the first things that you check is the cabin air filter. Now, it probably won't be as bad as this, but we see the cabin air filters all the time coming in for AC and heating problems and so on. They're just coated with dirt, not rodent feces or anything like that, just dirt, because nobody ever seems to change them or check them and so on. So put that right up at the top of your list on things to check. And if you're doing it yourself and you don't know what you're going to find in there, put on some rubber gloves. And if you have a question or a comment, drop me a line right here at radio@goss-garage.com.